Hello, welcome back to another Let's Build Wintershold buildings inside of Mirkvale. As you see, I've started on this little townhouse using my blue wool for placing out fireplaces, orange wool for my stone mix, and yellow wool for the flooring. I'm just using it the orange wool to base out the idea of how I am going to do the walls. It's basically a mask. I will go over it with a brick brush that I use, using different blocks. I did forget some of them, so I had to quickly remake them. The perks of upgrading Conquest from 1.10.2 to 1.12.2. If you could tell, I do have a slight cold. Yeah, it's been a bad few months for me, so with illnesses, so everything's just gone to crap. Oh well, but I'm still here. I'm back doing videos again, so that's the main thing. The idea for this building is to have two separate families, one living on the top section, the top floor, the first floor, and one family living on the bottom floor. So it's a small poorer of a building compared to the rest. You see me using now the Tudor blocks to design how I want to build this building. It took me a while to get the actual design to what I want, but in the end I am happy with it. It took a little while, longer than I remember, but I do get through it. Because of the actual house being even, it's a little bit harder to do the actual designs I found. This is just for me, so probably easier for everyone else. But yeah, took a little while longer than I wanted. Oh well. After picking the design that I want, I started on the actual roof portion. You see that in a second after I've added in the oak log stairs, not stairs, walls. See, it's been that long I can't even remember the block names. Using birch wood stairs and half slabs just to border the two sections of the building, and using some half slabs and trapdoors to give more of a 3D look for the bottom floor, with adding the windows as well. And now for the roof, using birch stairs, oak logs, and I think it is the light thatch roof. You see me just completed this side of the building's roof. Now on the other side. It's pretty straightforward. Now adding the other border here, then some Tudor blocks on the back face and the back face. Adding my chimney pots on top, using a cobblestone wall and the portcullis block with a flower pot on top. Replacing the half slabs with trapdoors to add more of a different pitch to the roof. Filling in the windows on one side, you won't be able to see out those. It's in a dark alley, so might as well. And replacing the staircase on the side. Tilting onto this building, On the bottom floor, I've decided to drop the floor down one more block, like so. This is so each building is on a different height, adding the chimney in the background. And the idea was a family would own this, and it would be a butcher's. So the bottom would be the actual store, and there would be a staircase just on the side for the top to, well, hopefully 2 floors, but if I can't fit 2 floors, it would be a single floor. Now, because how tight this was, other building next to it, the flat building, I had to do something quite creative with the roofs and the actual 3D element of the actual building, that you will see in a little while, after obviously placing in the windows and the second floor. Now normally I would plan in the corners before I put the actual window pieces in, but for this I decided to put the window blocks in first, then start from the corners. You see how I literally got a 2-block gap between each building of these 2 buildings, so trying to fit everything in was hard. After applying this little roof bit here, I wanted a double peaked roof, so you will see me start working on that in just a moment. And I wanted it to be a double peaked, and I wanted this to also connect to this other building's roof. So starting on the peak closest to that roof, I put out the A-frame layout at first, and I thought, hang on, this is one block too tall. So I had to cut everything that I just made out and drop it down 1 block. And because I've dropped it 1 block, I had the slight problem that at the back of the building everything looked a little off, so I had to try to remake a usable, like triangular shape that actually would deflect rain in real life. And I wanted to connect these. It's ever slightly a different pitch compared to the rest. Just replacing and adding the finishing touches in here. Just fixing up the mess that I made on each parts of the, not hip roofs. Hips are where it goes into a straight angle instead of a double round shape. Who am I kidding? I don't know what I'm talking about. After adding the bay windows, I love these blocks. Honestly, if I could use them on every building I would, in each window. You see me now just starting a few bits on the tailors. This is obviously got to be a tailor. I had to modify the layout of the internals and the actual path because it was a little bit too steep, and for what I wanted to do it wasn't recommended. I do that. So for this tailor's building I wanted a grand entrance and a grand window to show the produce and obviously invite customers so the tailor's family can have some good customs. So it's quite a large building. Now just working around the corner, trying to decide where I'm going to remodel for insides. I finally did that, just adding a gap here, and I do move that 1 wall back 1 block in a little while. And obviously I wanted this to be a angled piered building, so this window I had to use some oak log vertical stairs to make that look angled. Starting on the second floor, I completely missed where I wanted to put the chimney, and it added a massive flaw into the design, because you see me go back in a little bit, and I mean a little bit, to add the chimney in, after obviously adding in all my corner pieces of the Tudor blocks, as I always do. Well, not always, but most of the time. Using as much of angled stuff as I can. Not angled, multi-texture blocks, sorry. Because with these multi-texture blocks, they expand more blocks you add to them, and they're always really useful to add in. Yeah, I would change all the wall later to the actual block paintbrushes that I have. But I just wanted to get the actual shape of the buildings done. Same with the interiors, I will do them in the next video. Or live stream, depends on timing really. Because the other two buildings had their staircases on the outside of the building, I left the floors blank. But because this one will have the staircase in the middle of the actual inside, I had to put in the floor in, so the first floor, so I can see what I'm doing, see how I'm going to design it. Now for the roof of this, I did originally want to have a nice angled peak in the middle where the angled shop face would be, but because I'm not that good with angled buildings, you see me just trying now to decide how I'm going to do it, but I do just stop. This has, I think, 2 peaks integrated into a right angle. You see me just making now. And 2 smaller peaks that's integrated onto the inner side of these. It's literally me going back and forth, so sorry. But I guess that's what happens when you're rushing around. This is 7 times faster than what I built it in. Yeah, it took a while. Came back trying to do this angled roof again. Yeah, if you can't do it the first time, try again. And you still can't do it. So people say try again. I just took the lazy route and just went, no. And that's the roof completed, hopefully. Now, for this building here, I wanted a circular window. This is for the bakery. And just so I have a rough idea where I'm going to put the counter, I put in some tables in. This is later on, but this is all I did. Just knocking a doorway here for a storage cupboard. Massive fireplace. And just using a yellow wool just to fill in the floor for now. I wasn't very happy where I put this door, so I do change it. I put it somewhere else. Just try to decide where I really liked it. And I kept on thinking, I don't like this. I preferred the door to be somewhere else. But I carried on with the rest of the build, and when I finally decided I was happy, it seemed more of a stable idea to have it on the, I think it's the western side instead of the northern side of the building. You see me just making the little entranceway for the two buildings, because it's going to have a flat on top where the actual owners and their family will be on top. You see me doing now. I think it's called a... I can't actually remember what it's called now. I had the word in my head. It will come back to me later. So after doing the first floor of bakery, I decided to do the cobblers. I know, having a cobblers right by a bakery, I don't understand why I did it, but I wanted to mix it up a little. And that's why I did it, mostly. So just putting in the floors so I can just plan out where I put in the doors ways for these flats. Now on a better angle, you see what I'm going to do with the roof. Just layering it with birch. Adding in all the windows. There's a lot of windows in this one. Obviously it's two buildings. Literally glued together, so it's fun. So I wanted a curved roof for the bakery, but instead I went for a more round, square shape. I did try with more of a rounded shape, but as I said, laziness does carry through sometimes, especially when you are in a rush to produce a video, because you haven't produced one in 2 or 3 months. So, starting with the 2 roofs points, then I don't understand how I got this roof to work. It was an absolute nightmare. I think in total there was about 6 cabled actual roof parts, and they're all joined together quite well, but it was difficult trying to implement them into each other. It took some time, a lot of time, especially adding all the fascias. I don't make it easy for myself, I know I don't. After rushing around, you see me now just adding in the smaller one on the back side here. This is over the actual little entranceway to the flats. I did put it further forward at first, but I do knock it back a few blocks afterwards. It's about here after placing it in, I thought it doesn't look right, it's too far forward. So I do knock it back in line with the gable at the back. Just about here, but I thought, no, it doesn't look right. And you see me just knocking it back in line with that one just there. After modifying that, I was able to put in the last bit of this gable here to join it up with the chimney at the back, as well as placing in the other gable that the chimney was connected to. Just finishing off the fascia boards here and adding in the last few roof sections and all the buttons and the last few details, including the chimney pots. Thank you for watching. You see now, after adding all the brick layers I've completed, and I am gonna carry on building and recording again. Obviously having a code doesn't help, but I will get there and I'm making time for it again. So I hope to see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll be back with the next Let's Build video next week. Goodbye guys.